Welcome back, passive income investors. Today I got a bone to pick with you, GE. I've got some personal issues that I'm not too happy about, and I'm going to break this stock down while I'm at it, even though I didn't plan on doing this today. So let's jump right into this. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today is a company that I've never really talked about before, and it kind of reminds me of Magna, but I have personal issues with this company and what this company's personally done to my family. It's had some deep-rooted problems in our household, and I think it's something I want to talk about today. And I'm going to try and not be like overly biased about how much I hate this company, but let's take a quick peeky-poo at their stock, yeah, and see how it's been doing, because I'm honestly shocked this company's been able to even maintain the dividend it's been maintaining, considering it's been losing a crazy amount of cash flow. And this is a company in the past that has done nothing but downtrend. Literally from the early 2000s, it's been nothing but downhill, with mild blimps of hope in this company, only followed by a long-term bliss of disappointment. I'm going to break down some of the fundamentals before I get into my own personal problems, but let's ask, why has this company been losing money? And Google does a pretty good term of doing this, actually. It says, at the core of the company's problem, it is a failure to forecast a downturn in the demand for its turbines and titanic machinery that powers natural gas and coal-fired power plants. The failure left GE with too much capacity in the market that is cooling off amid booming demand for renewable energy companies. I didn't even know GE was involved in stuff like this. It's crazy how big this company is, and this comes back to the point that you need to be able to understand what a company's golden goose is. Where does most of their money lay, and where is it coming from? And a lot of people that own GE, I really don't think realized that these were some of their core underlying income and profit generators, because I bet you didn't know that was one of GE's big problems. Now, a lot of people are wondering what they're doing to sustain, and they say here, and I'm going to get into this when we get into their investor presentation, but GE will sell its train manufacturing business, spin off on healthcare unit, and sell down in the majority stake of oil field services. This company is basically liquidating some of their bread and butter businesses to even keep the company afloat and alive. Like, it's kind of terrifying. So let's take a quick pick at their stock at my in my actual trading portfolio, or platform here, sorry. And we got a market cap right now of 87.3 billion. This is still a monster of a company, somehow still maintaining a dividend yield. Why? Why does it even matter? This was a company that was paying like a 3 or something, 4% dividend yield, cut down to like nothing. And I don't even know why it's trying to sustain this in the first place. It might as well just cut it right off until it can get its business back up and running. So let me show you what I find most interesting about this is when we jump into the fundamentals here. This is where all the real fun stuff is, because we can see cash flows, earnings. There's no book value because they've lost profitability. And it's fun to just scroll through this and take a quick peek. The fact that this is a company that's employing, almost 300,000 people. So when a company like this goes into the situation it's going into, usually governments and a lot of other people get behind it and try and do what they can to sustain it, because this really affects the economy when a company like this has to start laying a massive amount of employees off. But let's go into their balance sheet. We can see that the money and cash flow and short-term investments has been doing nothing but tanking, guys. And when you can see something like this, where quarter year over year we've been doing but nothing except for losing assets and wealth, and it's a shame really for a company of this this size. This status is kind of crazy, really, especially when we look at the total assets sinking. But when we go into the liabilities, it's nice to see that they've been able to bring the total current liabilities down, but that seems to be coming down with their loss of assets. But when we scoot over to here, it's not like their total liabilities have come down that much. It's like we're trying to keep our assets up to a degree where it makes sense with the liabilities that they owe, and it's crazy to see the liabilities and assets at the same time drop substantially. And this would have to do with plants and whatever else that they're involved with, because assets and liabilities can go hand in hand if it's something that could be deteriorating, like a house or some kind of underlying asset. So I mean, that could be fitting in the liabilities, but what we want is mainly like debts, which we can see here, which is the long-term debts come down as well with the money that they're losing, which is a shame, man. It's a shame to see a company like this turn into this kind of status. But this is something that isn't new for GE. Remember that. This is something that has been going on for years. This isn't anything new, and recently it's really been affecting the company, especially when we start looking at their cash flows. My goodness, total operating funds from operating activities has dropped so much in the last 4 years. It is almost jaw-dropping. I'm almost to the point where I want to tell you the story, guys. Don't worry, I'm going to get there about my own personal bones to pick with this company. But again, overall, when we're looking at their books, complete disaster. So let's just take a quick peek into their website. And we can see here, I was on it earlier, the website, like I said, it's so hard to understand this company because it reminds me of Magna so much. There's just so much going on with the underlying parts of this company. I really just want to know what their bread and butter is. And we can see that the remaining GE reimagines the future of energy. So they really want to keep up with this with the idea of energy, and it looks like they're really trying to push street lights and LEDs and things like that, which I know there's competition for, and I'm not going to spend the time here to go over whether that's going to be profitable for them, how much they've sold, do they have contracts. That is something you are going to have to do. And this is a company that I was kind of shocked about, considering the money they've been losing. If you look up the employee rating, which is something I always recommend to do, and see what employees think of the company, it actually has a shockingly good rating. This is a company clearly that has been sustaining employees very well and not causing any drama overall. It seems like there's been mild issues here and there with individuals, but nothing like over crazy. It's a shame when you see a company like a 2 or 3 star rating. This company's been pulling in 3.5 and a 4-star rating overall. But what they've been doing to sustain, because when we go over their website is, again, it reminds me a lot of like Magna. There's just a ton going on. You could dig through pages for days. I did a report on Magna not that long ago, and I don't really want to go too much through a lot of it. But if we go over to their investor relation real quick, we'll notice right away that essentially in the presentation, they talk about selling off some of these major assets, and their whole forward-looking presentation really focuses on the fact that they're getting rid of a lot of these big things that they've been using. And I've noticed that if we go over to YouTube here, I want to take a quick peek and a listen before I go any farther down that presentation. To Jim Cramer says something I find very interesting here. Let me crank the volume up for you guys. I think we're good here. Let's go all the way max.
David, when you listen to Tusa, what Tusa's saying is they're selling the crown jewels to fund the bad, and that's always a bad trade. You shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, although you really think that's the case? I mean, yes, they are selling certainly a very fast-growing part of their healthcare business, even though as a percent of revenues it's relatively small. It obviously has very high margins because it is not that high a multiple when it comes to, I mean, it's high, but not that high when it comes to the actual multiple on profits of that unit. But, Jim, there's plenty of other things there in healthcare that people focus on. And when you talk about jewels, you always refer really to aviation.
Right. Well, I think what the rap is not that what we've seen yet. I think that the trade to Danaher was brilliant. And Larry did great, and Danaher obviously did great. I think what they're saying, what the undertone is the next sale is going to be a bad one. It's going to hurt because they've got to raise, I don't know, the numbers that Heyman was tossing around, $30 billion. David, there is no $30 billion without selling something great.
No, although the $20+ billion was going to be and is very helpful in terms of giving them some more time. I mean, they continue, and I don't know to what extent Culp in his conversation yesterday focused on this.
So what they're arguing about here essentially is exactly this that's in their investor relation report. The fact that they're selling off massive amounts of assets, announced biopharma sale for $20+ billion in cash. Like, they're doing anything they can. This is a company that is literally trying to find a point of balance and sustainment, and it is not there yet. And this is one of those, could be a very big value trap for value investors. There is a few YouTubers that I watch, I know, that own this. They have been getting battered. And again, I don't personally know enough about the underlying assets, but I want to tell you the story of why I have a bone to pick with this company. And it on the customer end, this is seriously disappointing, but we bought a burner or a stovetop, or whatever you want to call it, an electric stovetop from GE. And this story goes back, about year and a half or so ago when we purchased this. It seemed like a good deal. We found it online, and it was a GE product. So here we are buying the stovetop, and we get it in place, and everything seems fine. This electric all-flat stovetop. And it was going great, guys. Here, it just seemed like something so to consider, to care about. It's just an $18 or whatever, $2,000 stovetop. Not a big deal. Pop that in there, and right above the oven. And after we got it, the first problem we ran into, I don't know where they were storing these products, but roaches decided to get in there and plant some eggs and come on a little journey into the box to our house. And when we put this stove in, we immediately started finding roaches. And it took us, we live in Canada, so roaches are far and few in between here because of the weather, the climate and stuff like that. So it didn't take very long for us to realize we had them, and then we started exterminating them. It took us months to get rid of all of them, because they just, if you don't kill them all, they just keep coming back. And we know it was from that stovetop because there was, again, guys, nothing else we brought into the house, and it was literally within like a couple days of installing it, and we noticed they were all hanging around the stove area, and that seemed to be where we found the core amount of them. So not only being annoyed by that, that was the first few months, and you know, you can't always blame that on them. Bugs, whatever, you know, it is what it is. But from there, it was farther downhill. After 6-7 months into it, one of the burners actually died out, and when the burner died out, we had to call them because it was still under warranty, and then they told us it would take 4 to 6 months to get this replacement burner piece to you. One of the round elements burnt out. So here we are, like, okay, whatever, we have to wait. At least still one of the burners work. So anyways, leading up to last month, we get a call from them. It's going to be another 3 to 4 months to get your burner. So we're presuming at this point we're never even going to get it anyways, after calling, spending hours, literally at this point, hours putting time into this to try and get a hold of these people, get this stuff worked out, and nothing has come down yet. Nothing has been concluded, and we still don't have a replacement. Now, it's so funny because the only reason I'm making this video today was because this morning, guess what? The other burner now burnt out of warranty. And it's only just out of warranty because I think these things only have like a 1-year warranty on them, and we've been going on for like 1.5 years. And the other one burnt out while it was still in warranty, and now the second one's not working, and we don't even think we're gonna get the first one. So now we have like 3 small elements on the thing that still work, and the rest of the stupid thing doesn't work. We can't get the warranty that they offer on it. And on top of that, you gave us roaches for 6 months. And it really makes me not like the company. The fact that they can't deal with the products they have, the fact that they're so underwater that they have bigger things to worry about than customer satisfaction. And just, it's a company that I have a bone to pick with, that I'm not a fan of. And let's just take a quick peek at maybe some of their social media pages. Because they have a YouTube page too, so does Magna. I thought that was funny because nobody was watching Magna's YouTube page, but it doesn't look like a lot of people are watching these guys either. I don't want to get into any of the videos right now, but let's take a quick peek. This company is so similar to Magna in so many ways. Their website's ridiculous. There's so many pages you can go through, and you go into their website, and it's like a whole different thing compared to the products on their it's just, everything's so different, and it's annoying as hell because, again, as an investor, I want to know what the bread and butter is, because now that we're getting destroyed here and the company's falling apart, we find out what their bread and butter pieces of the company are, and they have to sell off really good parts of their company. Like, look at this. It's so ridiculous to me that every time I open up a different page of GE, you're just getting a whole different story. Here we're getting lights. Here we're getting, they do windmills. And then we're gonna pop over to their YouTube. They do jet engines. Super annoying being an investor when I want to know just what their bread and butter is and what the underlines of this company is. And there's a lot of people that are probably going to give me a lot of hate right now, but I'm just pushing this emotion from the annoyance that I've had with one of their products that has nothing to do with any of this. They sell things that have nothing to do with any of this, and it comes back to this saying that I love, which is jack of all, master of none. If you can't master something, why try? Like, it's just so hard. And it kind of there's so many companies like this, and it's such a hard thing to do. And like, I'm finding Tesla's having issues with this as well. Like, it's so hard to pick a few things and be very, very good at them. And here's GE trying to be good at like everything. Energy, just General Electric. That's the name of the company. We're going to be general about everything and, be sloppy on all of it. I don't know. Maybe that's why the company's failing. You can let me know in the comment section below. Do you hold it? Obviously, you're probably not going to appreciate my opinion if you hold it, but you can have your own opinion. This company could turn it around and come right back, and it could be a good value stock. But in my opinion, I'm not buying it. I don't want anything to do with it. This is just a quick video I'm making today, battering it. And I'm sorry that this is the emotions for today, because I didn't plan on making this video at all. I was actually going to make a video about Tesla, but here I am making fun of GE. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Stay cool. Stay awesome. I look forward to chatting to you tomorrow.